Silly, silly, silly. It had me muted. So, sorry for everybody that couldn't hear me for a second there. Um, at least, only did that through qualifying. But as I was kind of saying, this is our GT series here tonight. It's, oh, Dom losing the back end there. Ooh, as you can see, GTPs are a handful. Checking out the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine here of Nick Terrell and see how his qualifying is going here. But you see in this final sector, still kicking up a little bit of water. You can see the little trails there. Let's hop in here on one of these onboards. I'm not seeing any windshield wipers going. Let's check through here. I got everybody moving around on me because people are starting to set their first laps. It's alright. But yeah, you can see going down the front straight, definitely still some water. So some of these guys that'll be a little bit further back in the pack in these first couple of laps will have to deal probably with having the, hope you got a button map to turn the windshield wipers on because you will need it. So got a little bit of housekeeping to do right here. Sorry. Forgot that we were going to go live over there real quick. Alright. Let's check in here with our Discord and see if we have anything popping up here that might be interesting for these guys. Let's see. Carl, very happy that we had a little bit of a wet track. I was quite happy, so this should be some interesting. So, alright. Let's pull up real quick while they're doing this. We will pull up our schedule here. So as you can see, we have gone to Sebring last week. That would have been the 4th. This is the 5th at Red Bull Ring. Next week, Bathurst. That's going to be interesting. And I have a lot of pity for these guys. Oh, Mason getting a little crazy there. Oh, that's right. You can't see that. So we will pull our schedule back down here. We'll pull our points up here real quick. Looks like Dominique Ford is your overall leader in GTP, has a 32-point lead there on Mason Smith. Over here in GT3, we have Tim Ponzi, 164 points. He is 30 points ahead of Alan Elwood there overall. And Dave Tilford in 3rd, 37 points back behind him. So Tilford going for the 2nd overall there. Also, Dave Tilford 2nd in Platinum. Tim Ponzi is 1st in Platinum. Nick Nickerson there, a little bit further back in Platinum. Silver Division, you've got Craig Potter leading after last week, 91 points, 20 points behind him. It's Powell Casca. If my microphone's picking up all the thunder and stuff, guys, I'm sorry. It's a little stormy here in Alabama here tonight. So hopefully we've got a few flash flood warnings. Hopefully internet holds through and we don't get dropped. Mac Viglio is the 3rd in Silver Division. Tim Thompson leading bronze, 62 points there. CJ Conklin, 12 points behind him. CJ said he would be missing tonight. I believe he had a little bit of work to take care of. And Tyler Bramble in 3rd, 17 points back. So we will pull our points back off of here. And let's check in. Let's see who is still running some laps. Kevin Santana here. We have not seen him for the full season here. I believe he was in one of our earlier races for this particular season, running that Porsche 963. So, currently in 3rd. Looks like he is, about 1.3 seconds off the pace set there by Dominique Ford. So, Dominic and Mason up there at the top. But as you can see in that final sector, you can see the water right there still on the edges of the track. These guys are going to have to be very, very careful when it comes to running offline. I don't think we're quite into the thing of having, okay, well, there we go. So that tells me something. All right, SDK has a new thing up here. And see if it pulls it up. No, it's not going to give it to me in the pit strategy. Let's see. If I pull up race info. No, it's not going to tell me in the battle box. Looking through here on my options to see if we got something. Should be something to give me tire compounds. Have they hidden that? Yeah, here we go. Boom, tire compound. So you can see real quick. Well, we got about 30 seconds left here. You can see Abivas Uvasam set his quality time on a wet, whereas Dominique Ford did it on the dry. Dave Tilford also setting his fastest lap there in GT3 on the dries. And then down here, you still have Kelly Pointer setting a lap, but on the wets. So Kelly, generally a fast guy. I wonder how many of these guys, will try to run the wets at first or run the dries, because normally these guys will go through without changing tires. So let's pull up our grid here, and we will pull it up for GTP. You gonna play nice? Yep. So, okay, I see what it's doing since we don't have a full thing there. Dominic Pohl taking the pole here tonight with a 121.071. Nick Terrell in the Scooby Doo machine coming in 0.8 back. Thaddeus Marshall 1.4 back from there. Kevin Santana 2 seconds back. Saj Patiar will be in 5th. Abivas Uvasam will be in 6th. Daniel Nans will be in 7th, and Mason Smith back in 8th. I guess Mason did not get a lap in for quali. We will go over here to GTP. So yeah, there we go. Sorry, going to GT3, my thing here. Dave Tilford taking pole with a 133.538. Tim Ponzi in second, half a second back behind. Ricky Renner is 0.6 back. Jake Browder in 4th. Nathan Sides in 5th. Craig Potter in 6th. Matt Z in 7th. Alan Elwood in 8th. Morgan Smith in 10th. Lauren Shaughnessy in 9th. Kevin Peak in 11th. Tyler Bramble in 12th. As we have a little bit of a big field here tonight. 13th will be Powell Casca, Eric Martin in 14th, Kelly Pointer in 15th, Sean Connors in 16th, Tyler Kakeko, one of our resident Canadians here in 17th, John Crane in 18th, Tim Thompson 19th, Terry Jansen in 20th, Michael Viglio in 21st, Sean Goodwin is back with us here tonight in 22nd, and Derek Booker in 23rd there. So 23 GT3s, 8 GTPs. A little bit of a wet track. We will have to see who all makes it through all night and makes it to the end. All right. So we are going to take a quick little break while these guys grit up and do their thing for our sponsor, Holt Studios.
Are you ready to take your live events to the next level? Look no further than Pulse Studio, your one-stop destination for cutting-edge design solutions. Their expert team of designers specialize in crafting beautiful 3D renderings, animations, and content creation for the live events industry that will captivate your audience and bring your vision to life. Pulse Studio also has you covered for interactive guest experiences, anything from touchscreen content. Are you ready to take your live events to the next level?
There we go. And I don't know why the microphone is not wanting to capture and act properly here tonight. So, looks like Matt Z here, back with us in core, running in 8th position in GT3. Tyler Bramble over here, running in 12th in GT3. As you can see, the GT3 is all the way back. They're kind of keeping a nice little gap. We'll check back in here with Mason Smith, who's gotten around Daniel Nance and Beavis Ugasa may have had a little bit of moments. It's not showing me anything obvious. As Mason here is on the back of Sahaj Patiar. You can see they're still throwing up a little bit of spray until they get some heat in the tires. You know, they're pretty much walking on thin ice here tonight. You see Sahaj kind of letting Mason go by. Mason running out there just a little bit wide, not too bad. As they're getting onto the front stretch, you can see that is already dying out. We will hop on board here with Sahaj. You can see he did have to cue up the windshield wipers there. Let's see if we can find somebody. Like Bramble is having to have this one. Yep, you can still see there is a little bit of water still in the air for these guys here. But right now, Jake Browder got around Dave Tilford there. As you can see, Tim Ponzi looking to make the pass here on Tilford for second place. Decides to back out. Maybe going to try to get a better run here out of this corner. As it looks like the Lambo may have a little bit of legs left on that Audi. As these guys are continuing to go on. Looking here for my close gaps. Got another battle here between Kevin Peak and Matt Z. About 0.2 of a second apart here, but I mean everybody playing nice here on this wet track. Not trying to push too hard, but they are trying to battle each other a little bit. It being wet right offline definitely is not making life easy. Checking into chat here, looks like we got Barry going Tim Ponzi in the GT3. Always a good bet going for Tim there. And Dominique Ford in the GTP. Yet again, Barry, solid choices. It'll be interesting to see if Mason Smith coming from the back can catch up to Dominique. Last lap, Dominique set the fastest lap of the race with a 120.5. Mason Smith running a 121.3. So Dom has opened up, what is that gap? 3 seconds already. As Thaddeus Marshall looking to try to catch the back of Kevin Santana here. Gotten that gap down to under 1 second, right at 0.8 now. So with everybody being on dry tires, yes, the race started out wet, but it's pretty much running up. Looks like we're going to be pretty much dry the rest of the way through. Showing an accident here for Terry Jansen. What happened with Terry here? Kind of got into a little bit of that water offline, sent it sideways. But all in all, kept it cool, calm, and collected. Let's go back live. Showing an off track for Thaddeus Marshall here. Did he just run a little wide? And it looks like he did. Maybe just trying to cool the tires off a little bit. That is one thing, the dries will cool off. Oh, no, he didn't run wide there. He ran wide there. But you see Mason Smith also kind of following him out there. But that has promoted Mason right to the back of Thad. And you can see Mason getting just a really good run out of that corner. As let's hop on to the suspension of Mason Smith here. See, where is Mason going to try to make this move on Thad? I'm guessing a little bit stuck back in a little bit of dirty air. Let's see. problem. If you get down into the curb area, there's definitely still some standing water down there. Looks like that might be a little stronger through the middle section of the track. See if this go around, if Mason makes any progress coming through here. Yes, it does look like Mason gets a little better run out of the last corner there. These guys already coming up on GT3 traffic. Mason's going to want to get by as well. He ducks in there. Yeah, he can't get on the throttle the way he wants because of that curb. The battle, the closest one here on the track is definitely between Tilford, Ponzi, and Renner. These guys within 3 to 4 tenths of a second apiece. You know, Ponzi just running right under the rear diffuser there of that Lambo. So definitely a good little battle here. See what he's doing there and there. What do we like? Battle A, Battle B. Battle A, Battle B. Looks like Ponzi maybe going to try to take a look here. Or is Ponzi working on some big brain moves to possibly save some fuel by falling right on the back of Tilford? Ponzi won back in Catalunya on a fuel race there. Over here, it may be a little more wet as he goes down to the inside. We'll go back to our TV camera here. Ponzi, they're in a drag race here. The 53 looking like he wants a little bit of this drag race, is going to tuck up behind Ponzi here. I'm sure Ponzi would love a little bit of a bump draft down into this corner. There you go. David tucking back in nicely behind Ponzi there. But that has opened the door for Renner to come through. Ricky Renner trying to make the move on the outside of Dave Tilford there. Nice clean racing. David giving him enough room to remain out on the outside of the track, not trying to run him off the track. Step away from this, we had a crash here for Sahaj Padiyar. What happened to Sahaj? Oh, got into the grass and into the wall. Not what you want to have happen. And have another accident here from Sean Goodwin in the Porsche. Is he going to get into the... Yep, touch the water and bye-bye it goes. Stopped it before hitting the wall. It's a good job there on Sean for not destroying the car. As here we are at Thaddeus Marshall. And here. Yep, Mason did in fact get around the Let's go back and see that pass real quick. Coming down the front straight. As they're going around Tim Thompson, Mason just going to be a little better on the brakes with that, I believe. Is that what it looks like? It does. And that is job over. Mason ahead. Huh. That's weird. Looking back through here, we still have... We've got this little battle back here as well. Looks like Craig Potter, Morgan Smith, and Tyler Kakeko all in a little... You know, if you're an F1 fan, it's a DRS train. But I believe right behind them we have the Cadillac of Daniel Nance looking to go around the outside. Not a part of the track you really want to encounter the GT3s, but as you can see, he picks his way through cleanly. It looks like this battle between Pete and Z and sides is spaced out just a little bit here. While the battle between Potter, Smith, and Kakeko is still going on. Something happened up front here. Nick Terrell is now leading Dominique Ford. Let me see if I can tell what happened. Let's see here. Oh, Dom getting a little loose, it appears. And that allowed Nick to get past him. However, it looks like Dom got away. I don't see any real damage to that big sniffer there on the BMW. As we go back live here, Nick Terrell running, trying to break the gap in the toe to Dom. You're gonna need more than 0.8 of a second, I believe, though, Nick. And see, there is the distance between Nick and Mason is one straightaway coming up through there now. And you can see Kevin Santana there, not too far back either. So if something happens between Nick and Dom, you know, they will be ready there to pounce. Let's see. Check in here with some of these guys back here. Michael Viglio on the back of John Crane. I have not seen Crane running the Audi yet, so kind of a new paint job there. It looks like just a little baby blue. They're putting in some pretty decent laps here. Let's go further forward. Alan Elwood is still running that Audi. I'm guessing the Audi probably not so happy in the rain. Whereas Jake Browder in GT3 has a 4-second gap over Tim Ponzi. Let's look at the lap times here for the last few laps. As you see, other than lap 5, we'll have to. There we go. Yeah. Now that it is, as you can see here on lap 8, it appears that Ponzi is starting to reel Browder back in there. We'll see how much on this lap. Nope, Browder opened it back up. I'm guessing that's going to be from GT3 traffic. Through. And as we go back here, there is still a battle here between Renner and Dave Tilford. Ponzi has, as you can see there in this thing, he has already checked out. So he is going to be hoping to run down Jake. SDK showing me another accident for Sahaj. No. There we go, for Sahaj Badiar. What happened here? Yep, he gets on it just that little bit. You get on just a little bit of that wet and it will send you around. Kept it out of the front stretch wall this time. Through our GTP field, you have Sahaj right here. Then we have Abhi Visubasim. Abhi is about 17 seconds ahead of Sahaj currently. Then about another 9 seconds off the track, you have Daniel Nans. Another 10 seconds up, you have Thaddeus Marshall. 4 seconds in front of Thaddeus, you have Kevin Santana in that Porsche. Mason Smith now up to 3rd place, up 5 positions from where he started. He is 5 seconds behind Nick Terrell, who, let's go back and see, as we were looking here. See the pass for the lead. It's like, almost looks like Nick was going to try to use the GT3 there as a pick, but Dom, yeah, slowed up a little early and got that run on the exit of the corner there. So excellent racecraft by Dom to get that move made. Checking out the GT3s, we'll just go through the field here and let's see all these paint jobs. Oh, let's see. So is iRacing being a little loud? We'll turn that down. Thanks for letting me know that. So here we go. Looks like we got Jake Browder still in the lead. 4.7 seconds back to Ponzi here. Then we have Ricky Renner, and what is that? The next gen Porsche. Dave Tilford in his always highlighter yellow, green, and black car. Matt Z up 2 positions here in the 212 BMW. So you get a little twitchy off of that. Nathan Sides in another BMW here. I don't know what, huh? Yeah, for some reason iRacing is being very loud with the cars tonight, so pulled almost 22 decibels out of the thing. Alright. And then we have Lawrence Shugnacey in the bumper thumper Audi there. Morgan Smith right on the back of him in the WBM racing machine. Tyler Kikeko in another 212 BMW is about 2 seconds back there. Another 212 guy, Powell Casca here in the flaming McLaren. We have Craig Potter in the red and white Ferrari there. Tyler Bramble in the 212 Mercedes. Kevin Peake in the Nikon BMW there. Tim Thompson in the Speed Monkeys 992. Eric Martin in another one of the next gen Porsches. Yep. Michael Viglio in the Vigsy Motorsports Audi there. We already did Eric Martin. John Crane in that unmarked blue Audi that just says back. Left, right. Alright, we're going to have to go into that one a little bit. As you can see, the windshield wiper going for John Crane there. As we go back through the field here, Terry Jansen in that Porsche there. No sponsorship on him. Sean Connors in the RFRS Ferrari there. Alan Elwood is not showing on track currently. Looks like Derek Booker, Sean Goodwin, and Kelly Pointer are already out. Oh, a crash here for Sean Connors. What happened with Sean here? Oh, got a little sideways there. Had to do a little donut. We have quite a few here. Here's a wreck for Derek Booker in the 86 machine. What happened here? Oh, gets into the water and loses the back end. Alan Elwood. Looks like he may have been caught speeding into the pits. Showing a crash for Elwood here. What happened here? Oh, loses the back end. And showing a crash out of Kevin Peake here. What happened to Kevin? He looks like he's gonna get just a little what? Guys, there's water out there. Be careful. We will go back live and check in here with everybody to see how this is going. Alright, so we will, oh, that's right, we gotta pull somebody who's actually back in here. There we go. To our leader, Dominique Ford. Ford's fastest lap of the race, that 1:19.977, so he broke under the 120 range. So the track is definitely drying out and getting faster. right, so let's see here. But, you know, he's not opening a huge gap to Nick Terrell, so Nick must have, some of that time he spent right behind Dom, you know, he's learned something. Dominic already had a 4-second gap when they started this race. But Mason is back here. Mason not quite running Dom's pace, but he is only, you know, let's see, currently 3.8 seconds back there. So good job for Mason to come up 5 spots through the GT or P field here. And as we can finally see, looks like the gap between Renner and David is now up to 1.8. The gap between Jake and Tim is kind of holding at that 4-second range. Has been for a little while now. As we were about 20 minutes into this 1-hour race here tonight. Looking through here, who else has a decent battle going on? Still here between Powell Casca and Tyler Bramble. Powell has gotten around Bramble, so we're going to go to the tail cam of not Tyler, but there we go. There's the flames everybody loves for the McLaren. The nice orange fireballs of doom. A wonderful way to kill a broadcaster's frames. But it is worth it. It is a nice sound and a pretty car. Alright. As already have our first set of pit stops, it looks like, for GTP. Kevin Santana coming into the pits here. So let's see, is Santana going to be taking tires, or... what do we have here? It is... well, pit lane 2, pit lane... the car does appear to still be on the ground. So, looks like he is not taking tires. 24.4 seconds just to take the fuel. That's going to put him a total of 47 seconds behind our leader, Nick Terrell. So Nick got back around Dom. Oh, that's right. I forgot you occasionally have to roll this back down. It didn't give me the big update I was looking for. What happened with the battle here between Nick and Dom? Oh, Dom having a little bit of a slide. Nothing too crazy, but that definitely allowed Nick to get past him. So, you know, Nick doing very good just to be consistent tonight. And that has brought Mason Smith. So Dom into the pits now. Mason still out on track. Sorry, having to respond to some work stuff. Boss doesn't know when to quit. Alright, we have the Dominic Ford now coming out of the pits. So Dom is running 44 seconds behind Nick Terrell. The gap to Kevin Santana now 5.3 seconds. So Dom coming out of the pits having to go through the GT3 traffic. As we will watch here, will Mason come in this lap? Does Mason have one extra lap? Yes, Mason is in this lap. So that's one of those things that, you know, maybe staying out an extra lap. Let's see. Does a B have enough to make one extra lap? Because of the pace advantage these guys have, if you get through a vast majority of the GT3 field, you really might be able to make up some ground. Check in here with our Coors resident dirt expert, Thaddeus Marshall. Thaddeus running the Big Sniffer BMW with the 212 livery there. down 3 places from his original grid location. But with that semi-wet qualifying, you know, that's had definitely shaken up the grid a little bit. Nope, Abby did in fact have to come into the pits. The question is, what can Abby get out of the pits before... Oh! Thaddeus Marshall having a little bit of an issue there. Looks like something between him and Craig Potter here. Let's see what happens. We're going to go quarter speed here. Oh, Craig getting onto the wet stuff, and it just sent him right into the side of Thad as we see Thad slowly slide around here. Looks like the side of the car is okay. Hopefully he didn't get any bent wheels in that. And we will go back live here. We'll see Thad come around here. There might be a little bit of a dent there in that side pod. So Hodge Patio running down here in 8th. Has not had a good race here with all the wet stuff. So something to keep an eye on and make sure that everything goes the way you want it to. See, you got a master window checking in. Let's go Mason. All right. So Mason now 2.5 seconds behind Dom. Dom just clicked in the fastest lap of the race with 119.91. Mason with a 2.0. So Dominique with about a second apace on both Mason and Nick. Showing an accident here for Tim Thompson. Looks like it might be a bad one. No? Tim jumping to the pits. Not quite sure what happened with Tim there. Let's hop on board here. I think, did he accidentally run out of fuel or something? No? Nothing too obvious, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Dominique Ford has the gap to Nick Terrell down to, well, he had to swerve there to avoid the GT3. So that's cost him a little bit. And that has put Mason on the back door of Dominique. So here's the battle we've wanted to see all night. Oh, some net code, a little bit of contact. I think that's going to wind up way worse for Mason than Dom. I can see tire through the bodywork. Is Mason going to be able to get that back to the pit lane to get a fast repair? He has missed the pit entry commitment cone, I believe. Let's see. Well, maybe it won't be too bad. It looks like it might be crabbing a little. Check in with Dominique Ford. Look how that car looks. Let's see. Let's look at the left front suspension and the right front. Left rear, right rear. Maybe it's okay. Maybe there is in fact no damage to Mason there. I hope for his sake that is true. So we are halfway through this and looks like, looky, we have some pitters. Looks like Jake Browder is going to be your first one taking a pit at lap 19. So you have Ponzi, Tilford, and Casca, and Shaughnessy. These guys all trying to play a possible fuel strategy, so we will have to keep an eye on them. Ponzi having a 7-second gap over Dave Tilford there. So it will be interesting to see where both Ponzi and Tilford file back in. Ponzi into pit lane here, right on the back of Terry Jansen. Oh, a little bit of contact there. And Tilford following him in as well. Powell Casca having to come in this time along with Lawrence. So we will keep an eye here on Jake Browder as he is coming around into the final corner. Looks like Ponzi is not rolling yet. Oh, looks like Ponzi might be taking tires. Down off the jacks. Browder ahead of Ponzi there. And Lawrence managing to jump both Powell and Dave Tilford in the pit phase there. Showing... Oh, that was... No. That was not Lawrence. That was the other one. That's Jansen in that Porsche. So, going through here, looks like everyone has pitted at least once. Showing Derek Booker has made 4 stops here tonight. It currently appears he is out of the race. Sean Connors into the pits here. Car looks okay, so I'm guessing he had a little bit of an issue earlier. So I believe that is why he is in a lap later than everyone else. And out in front with a 6.8 second gap to Dominique Ford is Nick Terrell and the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine. Ruh-roh, Raggy. You have GT3s in front of you, and these are GT3s battling for on the track. You have getting around the outside of Dave Tilford here. And you can see just the speed difference and how easily Nick manages to breeze past the GT3s. So we're going to do a few minutes of You Love to Hear It and give my voice a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we are back, so that was our little Love to Hear It segment. Gotta do a graphic for that. I gotta get that from Jimmy. So, excuse me. Talking for an hour straight takes a little bit out of the vocal cords. Sorry, guys. As Kevin Peak a teammate with our leader, Jake Brower. Both running that same paint job on the BMW, as you see. That is Santana coming around the GTP or GT3 leader in a Porsche GTP. Bunch of tongue twisters. Showing a B having a little bit of an off track. Oh, just sent it in a little too hard. Was that the, I think that might be the George Russell line through that corner. But, you know, all in all, Alonso getting a little bit better. Not Alonso, a B. Sorry, a B. Sitting there looking at something else and called you by the wrong name. Check in with Eric Martin here in this Pogo Porsche. See how he is doing. Started 14th in GT3 and is still a 14th in GTP. So no places gained, no places dropped. As we go through here and see, currently the biggest winner that I can see on my boards is Tyler Kakeko, who is up 9 spots from his qualifying position. Oh, as you see there, let's go back and watch that from the rear camera in slow speed. Actually, we will pull that up from Daniel Nans. Watch that from his nose, and you can see here as Tyler is trying to get a good line here that touches the curb, all that water, and the back end just goes. Daniel, very good job to stay off the back of that wiggling BMW. Great driving there, Daniel. And we will get back out of those views. You see a little, looks like a little bit of damage to the front of that 37 machine for Kakeko there. So may have gotten into the back of somebody just a little bit. Nick Terrell picking up his pace, setting his fastest lap, now down into the 119s. Mason, I guess, dealing with a little bit of damage after that earlier incident. Not quite being able to run the same pace as these other guys. As we will go back through here. Let's see where everyone is currently sitting. Some of the better battles on track. Looks like Dave Tilford able to come up to the back door of a Renner here. So when we look at their pit times here, we'll pull up these guys' pit strategy, pit stop times. As it's only going to do it, but these should be high enough. Yeah, Tilford taking an extra 0.7 of a second in the pit lane there. You can see Ponzi taking even more, so I'm wondering if that extra second or so, because we saw Ponzi up in the air taking a tire. Yeah, I wonder, is this a tire difference now that these two have created for themselves? Maybe lose a little bit, but if it's, let's look at our lap times here. See here over the course of the last few laps, yeah, looks like Tilford is slowly just rolling Renner back in. A little bit of a battle here between Morgan Smith and Tyler Kakeko. Lots of cars on track, some of these laps. Oh, Daniel Nans off into the gravel pit there. Looking back, looks like Dominic Ford has got the gap down to Nick to 5.3 seconds there. Mason Smith is about 21 seconds back off the leader after his little issue. As Nan's back in the pits. And looks like the battle here between Potter and Bramble. A little Merc versus Ferrari. Looks like these two have swapped positions a couple times. Craig getting over into the wet stuff, trying to get a good run. We saw that with Tyler just a few minutes ago. I mean, it's not an easy thing, you know, not an easy spot to make a pass. As it looks like Bramble is going to pull away with that position there just a little bit. That gap now up to 1.4 seconds. That's enough to break the big suck, as Chris likes to call it. So we go back through here. Who else do we have? It's got a decent battle. A little bit of one between Lawrence and Tyler Kakeko. I think that battle's getting right in there. So you've got Lawrence, Tyler, and Morgan all right around a second away from each other. But then still back here up front, the final podium position for GT3 is the battle between Ponzi and Tilford and Renner. Yeah, the Porsche, while I know David tested it here the other day and was saying the Porsche feels really stable, but it is just not quite the same speed. I'm guessing he found a little something in the Lambo. Currently, I believe Tilford is the only person in a Lambo here tonight. So not quite sure what he may have found for liking the Lambo over the Porsche. But when we look through here, Browder in a BMW, Renner in a Porsche, Tilford in a Lambo, Z and Sides in BMWs again. And then we have an Audi back here in 7th, another BMW in 8th, you know, and McLaren in 10th. So your top 10 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different makes in the top 10. So, you know, it looks like there's really, you know, if I had to pick a dominant car, just judging by the top 10, it's going to be the BMW, as there are 4. But that's not a crazy margin, and it's not just the top 4. So, obviously, iRacing's BOP is working pretty well. You know, if we've got all these guys, I mean, looking through here, SDK showing me their iRatings. You got Browder with a 2200, Ponzi with a 24 or something, Renner with a 19, Tilford with a 24. You know, there's your top 4 right there. So they're all right in about the same. So, you know, car not making a huge difference, it appears, between these guys. Showing an accident here for Nathan Sides. What happened with Nathan here? Going down to the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact with the 116. It's not the 116. That is the 16 of Matt Z there. Doing a little bit of a off track here for Lawrence. What happened? Oh! Lawrence being on the outside there didn't quite have as much grip as he expected, and that Audi doing its trademark little slow flat spin that is so hard to recover as he safely gets going again. Thank you, Lawrence, for having a safe rejoin. And still, this is the closest battle here on track next to, well, it looks like Potter is back on the back door of Bramble here. Is Potter going to make the same mistake we saw out of Tyler, or the other Tyler a little while earlier, trying to go on the inside and getting into that water? Yeah. I mean, if you're in a car with changing conditions, I mean, to me, the Merc's the better option. It's a little bit more of a stable platform than that Ferrari. So looking like Mason Smith in the pits. coming back out. I'm guessing he took a fast repair and a quick fuel to get him to the end of the race, as we only have 15 minutes left to go. So we will see after these guys all shuffle back through. He is now only 4.5 seconds off the back of Kevin Santana. But back here, the battle between Bramble and Potter got around Bramble. He's going to now try to break that gap and see if he can't run away with it. Gap now up to 8/9 of a second, and then you see that Merc lays the loud pedal down, and that gap comes down to about 0.6 seconds. So it's very hard to compete with the torque that Merc will give out. It has got quite the punchy engine there. As we check back up front here for GT3, 5.5 seconds the gap between Browder and Ponzi. Looking like last lap, Browder a little bit off pace. So that's going to allow Ponzi to try to close that gap. These guys are about there. Checking back in here with our overall GTP leader, Nick Terrell. Has a 4-second gap to Dominique. So 15 minutes, you get a whole, or 12 minutes now. Dom putting in a 1:19.4. So really pushing that pace here tonight. Dom trying everything, probably getting every trick in the book. Matter of fact, let's hop into the cockpit here with Dom and let's see what it looks like from his point of view. Yep, kind of blinked out there for a second. As Dom is going to, you see what the line looks like here, all the way over. He's not scared of that water, taking every inch of track. You know, just straight committing it and going with a full send. You know, most guys are going to be a little timid in the rain, but Dom, not at all. Just ready to go. And, you know, if we ask Dom,
I'm still going to send it.
That is exactly what he would say. So, Dom into the pits now. See if he can undercut Nick and make something happen here. We will hop back out of the car and let's find TV3 should wind up being a decent one to see. Is Dominique going to try to take some tires? Looks like Dominique did have a little bit of damage actually there. As we see, it looks like the front of that car was reset while in pit lane. So Nick here, probably going to come into pit this time to try to cover off Dom. Let's look back through here. Still a battle between Tilford and Renner. Gap getting a little bit bigger, up to 0.6 of a second now. It's not the 0.2 it was earlier. But man, into turn one, Tilford able to get that gap down to 0.4, so 0.3 in one corner. David putting on a heck of a drive here tonight. Down 3 spots, but you know, coming through a wet quali. He is not doing half bad. Looking back through here, Tyler Keiko, still your biggest winner here tonight in the Hard Charger Award, I believe. Up 10 positions from his start. So, look through here. Looks like Bramble and Potter, these two can just not get away from each other here. Ooh, almost looking like they may be trying to go 3 wide into the corner here. But you see, you have Lawrence on the back door here as well, trying to get around Bramble. So it is Ferrari, Merc, Audi. Lawrence going to try to take a little look here. This is going to be a little dangerous. We'll go onto the nose here and see what it looks like for Lawrence. So there we go. Trying to see if... Oh, okay, so that does control that, just not very well. Alright, oh, wow, you can see those GTPs just slicing through the field there. Go to this TV number 2 and pick up Dominique Ford coming around. He's got the GT3s in front of him coming down the back, or the front straight. See what kind of exit Nick gets here. Dom is coming through the exit here. What's the gap going to be? It's a half a second. So Dom is going to be within the draft window of Nick and on his tail. We have 7 minutes to go here in this GT race. So definitely a few battles to still be sorted out here. Gonna sit here and watch the GTPs and see who... let's look at their pit lane times. Dominique, pit time of 11.3. Nick, 10.1. So Dominique a little longer in the pits. As going to jump away right here because these two are going at it. It's been nothing but pass after pass. See who winds up taking it here. Oh, back to this one. This is a little bit closer of a battle now. Is Dominic having the draft? Can he use the lapped car here as a pick to help get around? Oh, Nick holding Dom in with the pick there. Oh! Contact. Nick keeping it off of the barrier, but looking like something is maybe a little bent there on that rear quarter. Have to look at our chase cam here. Yeah, it's crabbing pretty bad. That's one of those you don't want to have to try to get back to the pits, because it's going to cost you a few incident points in the process. Unfortunately, Nick might be towing here as he is trying to get off of the racing surface there. So, as you see right there, alright, let's go back to Dominic Ford and take a look. He is coming into the pits here. Let's find a rear chase. Where did it go? There we go. Yes, a decent amount of damage to the front of Dom's GTP there. Oh, and that has, I'm guessing, serving a drive-through penalty there. And that has brought Kevin Santana up to second place. Mason Smith now on the podium for third. Promoting Thaddeus Marshall up into fourth. Let's see. So we see here Nick trying to park it in his pit box. Not an easy thing to drive that way. Check real quick. You can see how far his steering wheel was out. Gets his fast repair and comes back out. So, unfortunate for Nick running a almost perfect race all night. So SDK showing Mason Smith with 22 off tracks. I know you can catch him, but I don't believe I have seen him do a drive-through yet. So let's go back through our field here as we have 3 minutes left here to race. Battle between Powell Casca and Tyler Kikeko. McLaren versus BMW. Looks like Powell has been kind of ahead of Tyler all night. Is Tyler going to get to be the only one with double-digit gains here for the night? A potential for a hard charger award, perhaps? You can see that mid-engine layout of the McLaren really helping it come out of that corner. And right there, just onto the back door of Tyler. Gonna try to look on the inside here, do the little bit of a crossover style move, and there we go. That is Sahaj into 9th. No, sorry, not Sahaj. Excuse me. That is Powell Casca up into 7th, and Tyler Kikeko into 8th. Looks like the battle here between Renner and Dave Tilford out to 1.3, so it's going to probably take a little bit of a mistake out of Renner. At this point, their pace as fast as laps are just right there on top of each other. Oh no, showing a crash for Kevin Santana running in 2nd here. What happens? Oh, sorry, not Sahaj. I keep messing that one up. Powell just barely touching the back of Santana there. And that is going to bring Mason Smith within 4.7 seconds of Santana. As we have a minute to go, I don't think that's going to be enough time to run him down. Santana also being part of the sub 120 crew we have going here tonight. Now the battle here between Tilford and Renner down to 0.7 of a second. Depending on how if Renner gets a bad turn 1 here, David may have a chance. This should be our last lap, I believe. So the only problem is SDK and iRacing do not show me white flags too well, especially if I'm not in the correct class. Turn the compound data off. We didn't need that all race. As let's see if Dominique takes the checker this time by, or if it will be next lap. Ponzi has caught the back of Browder steadily all race. I know Tim would be hoping for one more lap, but I don't think it'll happen. I think we're about to see the last. Oh, Browder having to go into the pits. Ponzi is going to. There's the white flag for them. So Ponzi now your new leader in GT3. Fuel strategy playing a part here. Renner staying out. Tilford. Did they finish? Oh, they finished because Dominique Ford was ahead of them. Wow. So Renner and Tilford right there. Renner having just enough fuel, it appears, to make it He parks it at the end of turn 1 there. So, wow, what a race. What a race. Let's see. Anyone else still out on track that has not? Let's see. Have these guys finished? Yep, Sides came out ahead of Casca there by 0.2 of a second. Nick Terrell is finishing in 5th position here. Let's see, who else do we still have on track? Hard to tell. Waiting for iRacing to give me a final results page here. Looking like, yeah, it's going to be, I believe, Ponzi. Yep, is going to be one of the last one spot, and then Browder. Yep, I believe Jake Browder will be the last one through. So as we wait for these results to be official, let me type in here and get our top 3 from each class. Browder sending it a little hard. So let's pull in. Let's see, where is... Okay, here's our results. Run through these here real quick. We'll go with GT3 first. Tim Ponzi taking your win. Jake Browder coming in second. Ricky Renner holding off Dave Tilford at the very end there for that final podium position. Tilford taking home 4th. Matt Z in 5th. Nathan Sides in 6th. Powell Casca in 7th. Tyler Kakeko in 8th. Morgan Smith in 9th. Kevin Peake in 10th. Craig Potter in 11th. Lawrence in 12th. Eric Martin in 13th. Tyler Bramble in 14th. John Crane in 15th. Sean Connors in 16th. Michael Viglio in 17th. Terry Jansen in 18th. And there we go. Tim Thompson in 19th. Alan Elwood in 20th. Derek Booker in 21st. Sean Goodwin in 22nd. And Kelly Pointer in 23rd there. So let's pull up GTP here real quick. Dominique Ford taking home your win. Kevin Santana in 2nd. Mason Smith rounding out your podium position in 3rd. Thaddeus Marshall in 4th. Nick Terrell in 5th. Saj Padior in 6th. Abiva Srivastava in 7th. And Daniel Nans in 8th. Okay, so let's see here. So let's go to GT3 here. And let's find... Have to get it back. Go back to this point. Do this. Quarter speed. There we go. Let's see if we can find Renner here. Is he anywhere? All right. Well, I'm not seeing Ricky Renner in our Discord voice chat, so we will go on down the list and pull Jake Browder up into the broadcast here. Jake, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. How's it going, John?
Well, it looks like if it would have been a half a lap shorter, you may have made that one and held on to the win.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that.
So
It is what it is, you know?
were you just trying to have to run full pace to hold off Tim all night, or?
Nah, I just assumed he wasn't able to save enough because I had a good gap. I started saving and just didn't work out. I was definitely the fastest car today, but didn't work out. I'll take second though.
Yeah, you definitely weren't expecting it to be wet. I know when y'all came into the session, judging by what it had said before, because
Definitely not.
I'm pretty sure it said 0% when I was checking it earlier today.
Yeah, I'm not
But
sure, but it wasn't a surprise. I don't mind racing in the wet here. It's a fun track for the wet.
oh yeah,
I
in a
enjoyed the condition.
GT3, no problem.
Yeah, that GTP looked like a handful though.
Yeah, definitely. You could see, especially. Did you notice when you had to go offline to go around some of the lap cars, it got a little sketchy, or was it pretty much a dry track for the most part everywhere?
It was all right. The start of the race was more wet in some areas, but it leveled out pretty nicely. I was able to run full pace, I feel, except for that green on the last corner. Never went on outside the red and white on the last corner, but
Yeah, we saw quite a few cars just touch that a little bit too much, and it's completely lose all control there.
yeah, that's the only area of the track I was really looking out for. Uh, Everything else felt good, but congrats to Tim on the win.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was definitely a interesting race to watch. Them. I couldn't tell if you were having to push to try to stay ahead, or if he was just stalking you at a certain rate. So
No, I tried to save heavily, and I had that 6 second, 6.5 second gap, and let it get down to about 3, 2, and then I just started pushing again because I didn't think he had enough fuel either. Um, Trying to keep track position into pits if need be, but it just wasn't meant to be today. But Bathurst is
geez,
next week, and I'm better there than here, so I'm looking forward to that.
yeah, Bathurst with the GTPs will be really interesting to see them trying to get around in the mountain section. So,
I hope that
you'll
doesn't
have my
happen.
sympathies.
Yeah, it'd be interesting for sure.
Well, congratulations on second. We'll let you go celebrate. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 74 machine?
Yes, sir. Shout out to my pops. Raised the young blood.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. There we go. That was our second place, Jake Browder. We'll pull Tim Ponzi if I can find Ponzi in here. He's somewhere. There he is. Tim, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, doing all right. So it looks like you pulled out another fuel strategy race for us here.
Yeah, it kind of fell in my lap more than it planned it, but
I saw where you grabbed
it
that
is
one
what it
extra
is.
lap and kind of wondered if it was going to be that close again.
Well, I heard halfway through that final in lap on the first pit, my crew chief said it was half race. So I was like, all right, well, that's at least in the window.
Yeah.
And then I went flying into the pits. I knew I had good pace. I was running 30 flats in practice. And then I went flying into the pits and unfortunately ran into Terry, who wasn't going very fast. So I knew I lost a few seconds
Well, we got
on
that on
pit
the
entry.
broadcast. You see, you kind of giving him a little shove through.
Yeah.
Bit.
And at that point, I was like, well, fuel strategy has got to be fuel strategy. I don't know how the Beamer is on fuel, but I did a lot of good. I'm learning a lot of lifting and coasting. I'm learning something new every week. What can I say?
Well, I'm thinking
So,
that is the Audi like the Lambo where it's got a little bit bigger tank?
I don't know. Not quite sure. Although it did pretty good. Although this track is a lot of lift, anyways. So a lot of sweeping off throttle corners and trail braking in some areas, and the straights you can lift and coast forever into the braking zones and just make it up under braking. So I was setting pretty good times, lifting and coasting. But yeah, it worked out. Like I said, it kind of fell into my lap. I didn't plan it. I wasn't working for a one stop. It just kind of fell in, and glad it did. I feel bad for Jake. I know that's probably got to irk him because
Did you all know how close you were to him not needing to pit?
no, I don't.
Oh, about 10 seconds with Dom behind you. If he would have gone.
I seen the white flag come out when he went into pit lane. So, yeah. Although I like I said, I was turning the wick up at the end there because I knew he was probably trying to save for fuel. And I knew I had some 30s in me with the track dry. So I was at least looking forward to a battle at the end. But when I seen him, I wasn't disappointed when I seen him take a right in the pit lane. So
Yeah, you know,
uh,
everybody's like, "Oh yeah, you want to have the battle at the end." No, no. When you're in the race, it's like, "Oh, thank God. Okay, we're good. We're good."
yeah.
Well, congratulations on the win. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 46 machine before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, shout out to Vigsy, the guys over there. Some popped in this week for some practice. That was nice. Thanks to you guys for putting this on, and once again to the wife. Uh, you know, the usual.
No problem. Hopefully, you'll get to have some fun at Bathurst next week, and my condolences already.
Oh, is it going to be wet? Tell me it's going to be wet. Bathurst
Uh,
wet would be awesome.
that's a nightmare that I wouldn't even want to watch.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Bathurst for sure. So,
All right. Well, hopefully we'll catch you next week.
all right, excellent. Thanks.
All right. Well, let's pull in Mason Smith here real quick. Where is Mason hiding? Mason, this is John in the booth. You got a copy.
Oh, yes, I do.
So, did you just not get a qualifying lap in, or did you decide to challenge yourself with a last to first attempt?
Oh, well, I would never challenge myself because starting from the back is already hard enough. It's just I think that I just struggled a lot in the wet, and with the GTP, not being good in the rain. Even if you put on a good wet setup, it's still kind of like very, very hard to drive in the rain. Um, so yeah, I just had to start in the back, and because I wasn't able to get a lap in. That's quite embarrassing, but at the same time, like I don't
Well,
drive these cars often.
well, the
Hmm.
track was still a little wet, and y'all were trying to do that on dries. I saw some of the guys putting in times on wets and qualifying. So, congratulations to those that did get a time in on dries.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say congrats to them, and the race. I had a few slip ups. I could have finished second if if it weren't for those mistakes. But yeah, it was a wet race, and I had I had fun driving in it for some time. It was definitely a learning experience for me.
Yeah, it looked like with the GTPs, if you got into a couple of the little wet spots even later in the race, it was sayonara, good luck, and hope you don't smash the wall too bad.
Right, right. It's just I think I think a nice little wet into dry race is cool, but who knows for the next race? Maybe Bathurst might be even worse than rain. I don't know. But
Let's just pray that it doesn't rain there.
oh yeah, one of the
But
races I don't want it to rain. Hmm.
well, anybody you want to give a shout out to on that number 6 machine before we let you go?
Um, well, I would shout out to my family and then, to the people that showed up in the wet race. I honestly did not think it was going to be a wet race because well, I don't know. But yeah, shout out to them for surviving in the wet. I should I should definitely pat myself on the back for finishing third though in a wet race.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not easy, but congratulations, and hopefully we'll catch you next week.
Thank you. You too.
All right, let's pull second place Kevin Santana in here. Kevin, this is John in the booth. You got a copy.
I hear you.
I'm completely fine with a Kimi Räikkönen interview if you need it, but were you expecting to manage to make second at the beginning of the race, or that just kind of fall in your lap and you'll take it?
Yeah, I'll take it on this track. Not good here.
How was was it a little terrifying in the having a semi wet track in practice and it slowly drying out?
It's a matter of trying to figure out is it good enough for dries and qualifying.
Well, for some people it was. We saw Mason didn't get a qualifying time in, so if you're pushing the limit there, there were definitely some that tried it on wets.
Yeah, I had dries on for quali.
So you ran a few races earlier this season with us, right?
I ran last week. That was my first.
Like, okay, last week that's what I was thinking. I was like, I've seen the name before. I couldn't remember. I was on vacation last week. I may have been a little drunk during the broadcast, so. But congratulations on second place tonight. You looking forward to Bathurst in the mountain next week, or not at all?
I'm not going to make it for that one.
Well, I can't blame you if you didn't want to on that one.
I'll be at Hyperfest VIR.
Ooh, that will be fun. Well, before we let you go celebrate, anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 665 machine?
I got to thank my wife and daughter for putting up with me doing this.
Well, it's always important to thank those because my wife probably wants to kill me half the time.
Oh, I didn't say mine didn't, but she still puts up with it.
That is the important part. Well, congratulations, and we will catch you hopefully next week, or not next week, but the week after.
Thank you.
Let's pull our winner, Dominique Ford, in here. Dom, this is John in the booth. You got a copy.
Hello, how's it going?
So definitely probably not the race you were expecting
No,
coming into it. I think everything went weird every little step of the way, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry to Nick and Mason. I felt like Mason, there was a bit of echo. I talked to him a little bit, and he said there was a bit of echo, and it was just weird things. So I think we squashed the beef with Mason, but I didn't mean to make contact with Nick. I don't know. I thought he had moved over a little bit more to the right into the braking zone. I don't know, but I didn't mean to take him out of the race like that.
Yeah, I mean it's could with it being a wet track early on. Was it like trying to make some of these passes around the GT3s? Was it really just sketchy offline at times once the track had dried out?
To an extent. Luckily, I think I have more experience. I think in the wet in the GTP, not like not like racing in the wet, but I think it was a bit easier because I have raced in the wet. The Sebring 12-hour started in the wet, so I mean it all kind of went together. It was tough, yes. But I think because the track had dried up so much, I don't know, that qualifying really dried up the track a lot. So the track was a lot faster than it was in practice. So that really helped. And then of course there were still some really big wet spots. But the pace was good. I mean 20s and 21s was really the pace throughout the race. I felt like even though after my incidents, I still think the pace was really good. 19s, the track just kept getting better and better throughout the race. Curbs kept opening up for us to use. So it was really fun seeing how the track progressed there.
Well, absolutely. It definitely was one of those. I know Carl. We had asked if you wanted us to re-roll them to see if we could get a wet race, and I know for a fact Carl did not do that because I messaged him and he goes, that's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
It's just ironic.
but if you had to pick a way for us to have a quote unquote wet race, that was about the best way to do it. Where the track's
Yeah, I
wet,
think
you
so.
never really had any actual rain. That way, if it does drop rain on us later, everybody's kind of had a little bit of a feel for it.
It was a bit unfortunate though that we didn't know that, so a lot of people didn't get the practice they needed at the beginning, and so you had people joining in late. They're like, "Oh my god, it's wet, it's wet!" So that was pretty fun. But
Yeah.
for the most part, it was a really good race, and I liked how it was drying out throughout the race, and it kind of opened up the racing line a bit more. You couldn't use curbs at the beginning of the race because there was water everywhere, so it really helped out the track getting hotter.
Oh, yeah, we definitely saw quite a few cars going a little crazy there in the final corner. Look,
Yeah, I had a few offs myself.
yeah, we saw Sahaj thinking he was at Dover and killing the inside pit wall there for a moment.
Yeah.
So,
definitely that.
congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you next week at Bathurst.
Yeah, hopefully it's gonna be interesting to see how we break down some of these incidents. I know some of my incidents are a bit sketch, but Bathurst is gonna be even worse than this. I feel like even without the rain. So it'll be fun to see what Bathurst has in store for us.
Yeah, we may need to start bribing the admins for having to watch some of these. But no, it none of them look too terrible from what I saw. But we'll have to. I'll go through them with David and whoever else later, and we'll have the those results posted. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 91 machine before we let you go?
I mean, again, shout out to the field. Today was probably the hardest race that we've had to do in core, at least this season. And I felt like for the most part, a lot of the drivers handled it pretty well. Especially with those GTPs with less grip trying to overtake the GT3s with a bit more grip. So I think the field handled it great. Sorry again to Mason and Nick for my incidences. It was really unfortunate. Didn't mean to take out Nick. It looks like Mason had a good recovery after our incident and was able to recover the P3. So congratulations to him.
All right. Well, again, like I said, hopefully we'll catch you next week and have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
All right. That was our winner, Dominique Ford. We will pull up the GTP results here if it's going to play nice. Dominique taking the win, Kevin Santana in second, Mason Smith in third, Thaddeus Marshall in fourth, Nick Terrell in fifth, Sahaj Padiyar in sixth, seventh will be Avi Visuvasan, Daniel Nans in eighth. And I am not about to lose my voice, so we're going to go through it. I'll go through the top 10 here in GT3. Tim Ponzi taking home the win, Jake Browder in second, Ricky Reiner in third, Dave Tilford in fourth, Matt Z in fifth, Nathan Suds in sixth, Powell Casca in seventh, Tyler Kakeko in eighth, Morgan Smith in ninth, Kevin Peak in 10th. And then we will go over and do this and show you the rest of these guys here. But from everybody here at CRN, we will catch you next week at Bathurst. So I have to remember not to flip my screen upside down. Y'all have a wonderful night, and we will see you later.
Are you ready to take your live events to the next level? Look no further than Pulse Studio, your one-stop destination for cutting-edge design solutions. Their expert team of designers specialize in crafting beautiful 3D renderings, animations, and content creation for the live events industry that will captivate your audience and bring your vision to life. Pulse Studio also has you covered for interactive guest experiences, anything from touchscreen content to immersing guests in unforgettable virtual or augmented reality experiences, guaranteed to leave a lasting impression. From concept to execution, Pulse Studio is here to elevate your events to extraordinary heights. Contact them today by visiting www.pulsestudio.com and bring your dreams to reality.